Hey guys, I'm here to talk briefly about how to use styles in Microsoft Word effectively. Remember that styles are important because they not only ensure the accessibility of your document, meaning that learners who use assistive technology such as screen readers can read the document effectively, but they also improve the navigability of the document for any learner. So, styles are really very easy to use. You go to the Home tab, and right here will be your styles. You can modify what the styles themselves look like by right-clicking and clicking Modify Style. You can change the text type, the size, or the color. You always want them to be nested though, meaning that heading 1 is the largest, heading 2 is the second largest, heading 3, and so on. This is to make sure that the document is read and organized in order of importance. The other reason that this is really important to use the styles as opposed to just clicking down here or over here on the different text and making the size bigger is the semantic markup. If you've ever copied or pasted from a website and it had some funky formatting, that's because you're not just copying and pasting what you see. You're copying and pasting the semantic markup, the coding behind the text. So to make sure that the coding behind the text works correctly, which makes all the other accessibility features work correctly, you want to make sure that you're using styles. So I've already set up here, I want Microsoft Styles to be my heading 1. So I just highlight it and click on it. Then I want the value of styles, to be my heading 2. So I click on heading 2. Then my first small heading there under the value of styles is supporting all learners. And so I click on heading 3. Then I want to make sure, because again, the semantic markup is the important part, so I need all text to be the same, that my actual text reads as normal. Then I go into my next subheading. So subheading 3 is heading 3 there. Then I have another big heading here, heading 2. This is my next major section. Think of this as if it were a chapter in a book. My book is titled Microsoft Styles right now. My first chapter is the value of styles. My second chapter is how to use the heading types and styles. Then again, here is my first main section. Here is my second main section. And in between here, I'm going to make sure that my normal text is on. Perfect. Normal text. And then I have a couple more smaller sections here. So I'm going to do heading. Here I have something very unique. I would like to make a bullet list. Again, I need to make sure that I click on the bullets so that they read correctly with assistive technology. Now, you may be saying, this looks better, and I understand that it would work with assistive technology, but what does it give to my average learner? And I want to show you 2 big bonuses. Remember, this is a short document, but sometimes you have many pages in your documents. And learners need to be able to go and find information in there because everything they can't find quickly takes away from the actual learning activity. Energy wasted for finding information or using tools is energy not put to learning. So up here, if I am going to click on View, I can click on my navigation pane. Now, because I've used these headings, I can start with my title. I can drop down and see my chapters, as I said, my heading number 2. I can also see my subheadings. So if this was a 20-page document, I can move through it really quickly and effectively. Secondly, I'm going to go here to References. I'm going to go back up to my top right here, and I'm going to click underneath my title. Sometimes you have a really big document and you want to include a table of contents. It takes a long time to make and format tables of contents though, doesn't it? No is the answer. It does not. If you've used your headings correctly, if you just go to References and you go to Table of Contents, you can pick your style. You click the style that you like, and the Microsoft itself will create the actual table of contents for you. And the best part is it adapts. So if you were to change something, then you could easily just have it adapt automatically. You wouldn't have to go back and rework your entire table of contents. So these are just some of the biggest perks to using Microsoft Styles and how to accomplish it.